Alright guys, we are back again with another video for the GetReefed YouTube channel. Previously, I've shown you guys the lures I throw with the heavy setup, as well as the lures I throw with my ultralight setup. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you guys through my setups that I use to cast those lures. First off, I think we should start with the ultralight setup. I'll walk you guys through my reel, the rods I use, and the braid, give you guys a basic understanding of the type of setup you use when you go ultralight fishing. We'll go through the rods first. It'll make it easy to explain the reels and why I use them as well later on. So my main rod that I use, it's a Kuma Tactical 7-foot finesse. This is a medium action rod. It throws 7 to 21 grams. I really like this rod because it's light. It's got a good action on it as well. It makes twitching baits, especially paddle tails and jug baits, really easy. Believe it or not, this is actually meant for bass, but I enjoy using it in the salt and it works really well for me. It's a really strong rod as well. So the reel I pair my Okuma Tactical with is the Okuma Sima 30. It's a really light reel, that's why I like it. It really balances with the rod as well. It doesn't make it too heavy in your hand. It's not the most fancy reel on the market, but it has handled some nice fish. I've had this reel for about 3 years now and it's still going strong, especially after me catching quite a few fish on the ultralight with it. On the reel, I've got 8-pound braid as well. The white braid I have on top at the moment, something that my friend gave me to try out. So I've been using that quite a bit and it's been working so far. But before that, I've been using 8-pound finesse braid. That's by Boss Braid, and that's also been working really well. And I normally use it with a 10-pound fluorocarbon leader. You can go up as well. You can use 12, 15, you can go up to 17, maybe 20 pounds as well. So my second rod that I have for ultralight fishing, it's a Daiwa XLR 6'6". This is 5 to 21 grams. And this is the rod I'll mostly use for throwing like small poppers and even small jug baits as well. It's a really cool rod. It's also quite light as well, which makes fishing enjoyable. So the reel I use with this rod is the Okuma Altira 30. So it is a slightly bigger reel for the 6'6". Ideally I would have liked to have a 20 size reel, but it actually it works out for me. I like using this reel because it has that slightly longer spool than other 30 size reels. It's a very slight difference, but casting wise it helps quite a lot to make up for that little bit less length that this rod has compared to a 7-foot rod. So it makes casting those lighter lures a little bit easier, especially those lighter jug baits and the lighter poppers. It actually helps quite a bit. On this reel I've got 8-pound finesse braid as well, and I always use this with either 10 or 15-pound fluorocarbon leader, same as a Sima. So that's basically my setup for the ultralight fishing. It's not the most fancy rods and reels on the market, but it's what works for me and it's what I can afford. Every brand will have their own rods and reels you can use for ultralight. It just depends what you can afford and what will work for you as well. This is just a guideline so you guys get an idea of the type or the length of rod or the size of reel that you can go with. Moving on, now I want to show you guys the longer setup, which is going to be the 11-foot setups. Let me just get these guys out of the way. So my main spinning rod that I use a lot, I had it for about three or 4 years now. It's caught me, let's say, 70 to 80% of my catches. So it's a Pen Allegiance 2. It's the 11-foot extra heavy. It throws from a 3/4 ounce to 3 ounce. The main thing I like about this rod here is the action on it. It basically makes catching fish on a lure very, very easy. It's got a slightly softer action on the tip. It actually sets the hook itself on the fish for you. So it's a very easy rod to use, and it's inexpensive as well. This rod also comes with the Minima spinning guides. It's very easy to maintain these guides here. All you have to do is come back from the beach, just rinse your rod down, wipe it down, and you can keep the original guides on these rods for years. I still have mine. So it doesn't have any of that ceramic inserts that can break and pop off when you get a wind knot, or if your knot hits the guide wrong. The reels that I match up with this rod are, I basically use any of my spinning reels on them. I'll just pick a reel for the day and I'll just use it on this rod. It works really well with any reel that I use. In terms of size, it's mostly 4,000, 5,000 size reels. If I'm going with my Daiwa stuff, it's 4,000. If I'm going Shimano, it's 5. If you're using an Okuma reel, it'll either be a 40 size. I know now they're coming out with 5,000 sizes, and you also get a 55 size, so you can use those as well. So the next rod that I use is the Assassin Amia Zero. It's the heavy model, which throws 1 to 2 ounce, and then I use this a lot with my Static, and it works really, really well together. I find that that reel performs extremely well with this rod. You don't get any wind knots, any guide wraps, or any things like that. So this is a rod I mostly use for throwing all my CID stuff, my iron candies, even my plugs as well, that are up to 2 ounce. And then I also throw my bucktails and my slow jigs on this rod here. It's just that the action on this rod is slightly better suited for fishing with those bucktails and slow jigs compared to my pen. That's why I like using this rod. So it's quite a light rod as well, so you can spin for quite a few hours before you start feeling fatigued or getting tired. So the two reels I mainly use at the moment, it's my BG 4000 and my Static 5000. On the BG, I have 20-pound braid and a 50-pound braid leader. It is a little bit heavy, but I'll tell you guys why now. And then I've also got a 0.55 Siglon fluorocarbon. So that's the fluoro I use on both reels. So the BG I mostly use on the pen spinning rod. The rod just has bigger guides. It allows that knot for the braid leader to leave the rod smoothly. You don't get any guide wraps, any wind knots. So it's a setup that I mostly use when I'm fishing in a lot of rock. That 50-pound holds up just a little bit longer. Sometimes it can make that difference between you losing and landing a fish. So because of the rocks, I mainly use that braid leader, and it just helps me keep my main 20-pound braid intact. If the braid leader gets grazed, then I know I'm only changing like 2 or 3 meters. Okay, so how I have my Static set up, I've just got my 20-pound tied directly to my fluorocarbon. The reason why I haven't been using a braid leader on this reel is because I use it mostly with the Amia. The Amia has slightly smaller guides, so I don't want that knot from the braid leader. Even though you do an FG knot, which is really slim, I don't want that knot catching on any of the guides and getting any guide wraps or any wind knots, which is what I used to get before. So it's a setup that I mainly use when I'm not fishing a lot of rocky places. If it's a lot of surf and open space, then it's a setup that I use and I take with me. When it comes to spinning with a longer setup, so your 11-foot setups, there's also a lot of rods in the market. I'm just showing you what I have. You just have to find one that suits your budget, that you like as well. And in terms of reels, the same applies. You find what suits your budget, what you like, what feels good to you in your hand, what will work for you. So that's basically what I have with me and what I use. I'm not advertising any brands. It's just that's just my personal tackle that I'm showing you guys and what's working for me. Hopefully this video has been informative enough to let the guys know the length of rod they can get, the size of reels, and then the guys that are getting into spinning have an idea of what to look at. So that just about wraps up my spinning arsenal. Basically, I've showed you guys lures, showed you guys the reels, showed you guys the rods. And hopefully in the next video, we'll see you guys on the beach. Just remember guys, don't get